people are about to walk into the most important moment of their lives completely blind, because the watchers are returning, and this means more than you can imagine. A shift that doesn't announce itself, but changes the weight of everything moving forward. Most people will treat this like any other moment. They'll keep going the same way, thinking nothing has really changed, assuming this is just another phase that will pass like everything else. But this isn't one of those moments, because once this begins, things don't move the same way again. And that's exactly why it catches people off guard. By the time it becomes clear, it's already in motion. The watchers are not watching the world, they're watching you. Not your life on the surface, not your situation, not what's happening around you. What they track is much more specific. They observe how you move when there's no pressure guiding you, what you believe when nothing is forcing a decision, and who you become when everything seems normal. This isn't something that just started. It's been there the whole time, but most people weren't aware enough to notice it. That's what's changed. More people are starting to feel that subtle pressure, like something is paying attention, but not in a way they can clearly define. It's not fear, it's not paranoia, it's just awareness becoming sharper. And the reason it feels different now is because it's no longer just observing patterns, it's starting to respond to them. This shift isn't only affecting people who have been paying attention, it's reaching people who gave up on all of this a long time ago. The ones who stopped looking for meaning, who decided life was just something to manage and move through. They didn't become negative, they just went neutral. They checked out quietly, and now something is stirring again. Not excitement or motivation, but a kind of recognition, a feeling that something they once believed in is still there, even if they haven't thought about it in years. It shows up as a thought that lingers or a question that doesn't fully form, but doesn't leave either. That's not random. Because if this was just another phase, it would only affect people already searching. But it's reaching the ones who stopped completely. The ones who walked away the furthest are the first to notice when something pulls them back. This isn't about starting over. It's about something unfinished, making itself visible again, and once that awareness comes back even slightly, it doesn't stay quiet for long. What's happening right now has nothing to do with what you say you believe. It's not about knowledge, intention, or what you claim to stand for. It's about how you actually move. This moment is functioning like a quiet audit, but not in a threatening way. It's simply showing patterns as they are, without explanation or interpretation. How you respond when things don't go your way. The choices you make when there's no reward attached. The way you act when no one is there to see it. That's what's being measured. The truth of a person is never what they claim, it's what they repeat. And repetition doesn't lie. Most people think they understand themselves because they know what they want to be. But right now, that doesn't matter. What matters is who you are without preparation. And for the first time, you get to see that clearly, not as an idea, but as something real. And once you see it like that, you don't go back to guessing. Most people think the years where nothing seemed to happen didn't count. The slow periods, the quiet struggles, the times where you kept going without any recognition, they assume those moments didn't lead anywhere. But those were the moments that mattered the most. Not the highlights, not the visible wins, but the decisions you made when it would have been easier to take the easy way out. The times you stayed disciplined when no one was checking. The moments you chose to be decent even when you didn't have to be. That's what was being registered. The parts of your life that felt invisible were the ones that defined everything. Because what's unfolding now isn't based on what you say about yourself or what you want to be. It's based on what you consistently did when there was no reward attached to it. Every time you handled pressure without reacting the wrong way, every time you stayed grounded when things didn't go your way, every time you kept your standards without external validation, those weren't small moments. They formed a pattern. And that pattern didn't go unnoticed. That's why this doesn't feel random, even if you can't fully explain it. There's a sense that something is aligning in a way that reflects what you've already built internally. This isn't luck. It's not timing. It's not something being given to you out of nowhere. It's a response, a precise response to the version of you that showed up when no one was watching, when nothing was guaranteed, and when it would have been easier to move differently. And once you understand that, your past stops feeling scattered. It starts to feel intentional, even the parts that didn't make sense at the time, because nothing was wasted. Everything you thought was going unnoticed was quietly building toward this exact moment.